Hey everyone, it's Stacey. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to click that subscribe button down below for more faith-based content like this video. And in today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys 3 Christian movies that you can watch, and there's going to be a link in the description below so that you can watch them, and they're all free and they're on YouTube. So yeah, let's just get straight into the first movie. The first one is one of my favorites. I'm going to say this for every single movie because they're all really good. But this one is called I'm Not Ashamed. It's such a good movie. Like, I've watched this like twice already because it's so good. And basically it's about this girl called Rachel, and like as a kid, like she's always like known God, like had a relationship with God and stuff, but it wasn't really that strong. And then she broke up with her boyfriend. Then after that, she kind of just became so strong in her faith in God, and she just became so open about her faith to other people in the school. Then something happens that makes her have to make a very hard decision between her faith. So yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything because this is such a good movie, so I'm not going to spoil anything for you. And yeah, it's based on a true story, so that's what I like about it the most as well. The next movie I have is Courageous, and this is basically about 4 policemen, and they're like really good at their jobs. They get promoted and stuff like that. And then yeah, they still face the challenge of like fatherhood. So the movie's more about like family and prioritizing family and stuff. So they're not like that close with their kids. They prioritize their jobs over their family and stuff like that. Then tragedy hits their homes, and it brings these men so much closer to their children than they were before, because before their children were kind of just like strangers in the house practically. And yeah, so the tragedy brings them closer to their family and also to God. The next movie I have for you is Haunted. I know by the title you probably think it's a horror movie, but no, it's not a horror movie. It's basically about this girl called Rebecca who is in a gang and involved in loads of like shady stuff. She basically finds herself at this Christian couple's home, and it's basically just a fight to leave that gang and stuff like that. Again, I have watched this movie twice. It's actually really, really good. It's actually better than I make it sound, but basically it's about her and her fight to get away from that gang because like her past is calling her back, although she's found a new life. The next movie is another one of my favorites. It's called Grandma's House. It's basically about this teenager and then all her stepbrothers, and then they're forced to move in with their grandma because their dad is abusive and stuff. And then through this they learn the true meaning of love, of faith, and of family. And it's very interesting. Like the grandma is like really, really strict, and they're forced to like not listen to any secular music, and they have to share rooms with people that they barely know. And yeah, it's such a good movie, and it has like a really great lesson at the end of it, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, you should definitely watch this movie. The next movie that I have for you is Do You Believe? And this is such a good movie. Like, I can't even stress it enough. It's like basically about loads of different people's lives and how they get to know God, and then their lives just kind of like intersect. Like, you know those movies that have like a lot of like different people and different stories in it? Yeah, it's one of those movies. So I really like this movie, and it's just like all God based. Like, it's not one of those movies that involve things that have nothing to do with God. Like, I really enjoyed this movie. So yeah, you should definitely watch this movie. The next movie I have is a Rapture movie. It's called Left Behind, and I cannot tell you how much I love Rapture movies. I just love them. I don't even know why, but I always love watching Rapture movies. And it's basically about this pilot who is on a flight, and then the rapture happens. The pilot goes, and then like his clothes just left on the seat, and then the plane is just flying by itself with no man. And then the other pilot tries to save all the passengers and stuff like that. So it's just about what like was going on that flight and what was going on back on Earth during when the rapture happened. So it's a really interesting movie, and if you don't know a lot about rapture, I would really advise that you watch this movie because I really enjoyed it, and it taught me a lot about the rapture and the end time and stuff like that as well. So the last movie I have is God's Compass, and this is a very, very interesting movie. I've literally said this about all the movies, but this is just really good. And it's basically about this woman called Suzanne Waters, and as she celebrates her retirement and stuff, then she's faced with loads of problems and loads of stuff that are going wrong. And she takes in this troubled teenager called Eli. And you can tell by this, like when you watch the end of the movie, you can just tell that it wasn't like on her own accord, like for herself wanting to do it, but God was directing her actions. And that's why the movie is called God's Compass. So at the end of the movie, you can kind of see how God's compass was directing their lives right from the beginning to the things that happen. So there is a massive twist in this movie. I'm not going to say anything more, otherwise I'm going to spoil it. So that is the last one for all the 3 movies, and if you are not convinced by what I've said, you can always go and watch the trailers of this movie, because that will definitely convince you to watch it. And I just had to include these 2 movies that unfortunately are not free, you have to pay for them, but they're so good, and I could not just not include it. The first movie I have for you guys is War Room, and this is one of my favorite movies. If you haven't heard of War Room, then like, where have you been? It's actually such a good movie. So basically the movie is about a family. Elizabeth is the wife, Tony is the husband, and then they have a daughter. And basically their family just seems like perfect on the outside, but really their marriage is practically falling apart. So then Elizabeth, in her job at she works, has a client called Miss Clara, and she becomes like really close with her, and then Miss Clara encourages her to find happiness through prayer, and then the family is brought back together again through prayer. And this movie has helped me a lot in my prayer life, just to like start to pray more and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's a really good movie, and if you haven't watched that, then I would really encourage that you do watch it. The next movie is Alone Yet Not Alone. This is so good. I think this is my favorite movie out of all of them. It's set in the 1700s, so it's kind of like have like an old-fashioned theme. Believe me, it's really good. It's basically about these 2 sisters who have been taken captive by the natives in 1755, and it's basically like their struggle to keep their faith, although they're in like an unknown land with people that they don't know, people speak a different language. And basically in the end they have to choose whether they like want to escape and risk their lives, or whether they just want to stay and be where they are. But yeah, so good. The next movie is a new one. I think it came out like last year. It's called Overcomer, and this is so good. I think Corin Hawthorne, I think that's how you pronounce her name, but she also did a song based on that movie. And yeah, it's basically about these high school basketball coach who like faces loads of problems with his job, and then he's forced to be a coach in the cross country, a sport that he doesn't even like. And he basically coaches this girl called Hannah Scott, who pushes herself to the limit, and yeah, so she's really good at running and stuff. And then there's like a massive twist again about who Hannah really is and her identity and stuff like that, and I'm not going to say anything more, otherwise I'm going to spoil everything for you. So that is the movies that I have for you guys, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Again, there'll be a link in the description if you want to watch them. And also the other day I was looking for movies to watch, and I found this app called New Faith Network, and basically you can find loads of different movies, and all you have to pay is £5 a month. So it's actually a really good deal. They have like I Can Only Imagine, they have God's Not Dead, they have so many different movies. Apparently they put movies on every week. So yeah, I would definitely recommend downloading that app because it's been really helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you're not already subscribed, then please do so, because I upload loads of faith-based content like this video. And yeah, but for now, God bless and goodbye.
All I see is blessings, got no time for stressing. Don't believe in failures in my life, it's only lessons.